Hello everyone, my name is Gabriel Ramos, and today in this presentation I'm going to talk about Crystal software development. So, first, the agenda of this presentation. I'll start by talking about what is Crystal in software development. I will then talk about the Crystal principles and how does Crystal work, and I will then talk about a comparison between Crystal and Scrum, and I'm gonna finishing by talking some benefits and disadvantages of Crystal as well as my conclusion. So, first, what is Crystal in software development? So, Crystal is a methodology in the Agile framework that was created by Elistar Cockburn during his time at IBM. And the main emphasis of Crystal is on clarity, precision, and a solid structure. And to start a little bit about that, the time Crystal was created was during the 1990s. So most of the software development projects by then were made by the waterfall process. So for those who are not familiar with the waterfall process, you basically just have one iteration during the project. So after the release of the project, you don't have much space for any changes in requirements. So if you have a change in requirements in the middle of the project, you don't have room for to make this change possible. So they're trying to come with a framework that would allow for a more dynamic way of doing the software development. So based on that, Cockburn came with a Crystal methodology that is based on 7 properties, which are frequent delivery, uh, which allows doing multiple iterations uh, allows that changes in the requirements in the middle of the project can be implemented. And we also have reflective improvement, which is a way to the team to have feedback on what is working, what can be done better, what is not working. So this way that can allow a more effective development process. And then we have osmotic communication, which according to Cockburn is better achieved if the team is located in the same place. So, and most important, in the same room. So if the people developing the project they are in the same room, for example, uh, the communication would flow really easily. The same way as for a for a project that is in a remote location. So if you have developers across different parts of the globe, this osmotic communication wouldn't be as simple. And then we have personal safety, which means that basically everyone in the group, in the team, is able to have a freedom of speech, so they can talk about whatever they're thinking without having any concerns about what they're gonna say. And we have focus, which is to know what you have to work on, but most importantly, to having the available time and also the peace to work on it. And then finally, we have easy access to expert users and technical environment with automated test, configuration management, and frequent integration. Uh, the easy access to expert users, Cockburn mentions that this way it provides a rapid feedback on the quality of the product deployed, but also it provides a quick feedback on the quality of some design decisions that the team makes. So Crystal divides is divided in different crystal coded colors. So we have, as you can see in this image, we have crystal clear is for teams to up to 6 people, and then we have crystal yellow, 20 people, crystal orange, red, maroon, diamond, sapphire. And the way the project is defined, the project cycle is defining 3 main events. So we have the chartering, we have the delivery cycle, and we have the wrap up. So the chartering is the phase, is the that initial phase where all the vision is made, the business value, the gathering of requirements, They define the technology that is going to be used by the project plan. They define the team and the role in the role uh, of the people in the team, and also they define a methodology and the conventions that the team will use. And then that's followed by the delivery cycle, which according to Cockburn, Crystal Clear needs to have at least two iteration cycles, so at least two deployments in the delivery cycle. So the delivery cycle have a series of iterations, which allows, as pointed in the principles, to have a frequent delivery of the product. And then finally, we have the wrap up part, which is basically the end of the project. So a little bit about the roles of the team members. So we have four main roles. There are the executive sponsor, the lead designer, the key user, and then designer programmer. And we have what he calls the other roles, which are roles that can be given depending on the specificity of the project and also the size of the team, and is something that is more flexible. So if the team members swap roles during the project, that's not a problem. And then for the four main roles, we have the executive sponsor, as I mentioned before, which is the which is the person responsible for ensuring that the project aligns with the organization's overall strategy and goals. And we have the lead designer, which he defines as a person which the expertise that given enough time they would be able to implement the whole project alone. And then we have the key user that, as mentioned here, easy access to expert users. They provide a quick feedback on specific situations and scenarios and decisions that improve the development process as well. And then finally, the designer programmer, which are the developers of the project. So the ones that do the implementation, the testing, and the deployment as well. So how does Crystal differs from Scrum? So first, the similarities that we have. Both are iterative and incremental approach. So both are gonna do iterations and they're gonna have deployments, and they're gonna do that so on and so on, which allows frequent delivery. And also, if changes of requirements occur in the middle of the project, that's not a challenge for the project. Both have a crucial emphasis on collaboration and communication, which is even more crucial on Crystal Clear, as we have as one of the principles as being osmotic communication. And then both as well are focused on a continuous improvement. So the main differences about them is, of course, the roles. So for example, in Scrum, we have the product owner, we have the Scrum Master, and we have the development team. And then on Crystal, we have all the different roles that we mentioned before. But in terms of the way the things work inside the project, in terms of gathering the requirements and then having this feedback loop, they kind of function the same way. They have a lot of similarities on that. And then the events, of course, are different as well. So in Scrum, we have daily stand-ups. You have the sprint planning, sprint grooming, sprint review, and we have the project cycle in Crystal just divided in three parts. And third and final difference is the flexibility. So as mentioned, in Crystal, you have those roles that are not clearly defined, and they're pretty flexible in terms of changing depending on the project. While in Scrum, you have a more defined role and team size. And now moving to the benefits of Crystal, as I just mentioned, is the flexibility. So uh, the size of the size of the team changes. The time between iterations can change depending on the project. The team roles change. Um, they also have a extreme communication emphasis, which allows the whole team to be constantly on the same page during the development cycle. You have incremental delivery, which is also a benefit of Scrum as well. And you have the low overhead, which is a limited documentation. So you don't have a specific guideline in terms of documentation. That's up to the team. And it's flexible as well. It's up to the team to define that documentation and also the requirements of documentation that they want to do, the specifics in terms of what kind of documentation they want, how frequent they want, and is there any specific pattern that they want to follow. And then finally, the disadvantages of Crystal is that, I was just mentioning now, that is not suitable for projects that require extensive documentation. Um, Also, they have a limited formality. So because it's so flexible, and because you can have multiple roles and different projects, you don't have a specific guideline that is where developers can just follow. So in some projects that can be a disadvantage. And also we have extreme dependency on team communication, which, for example, as I mentioned during the principles for remote projects, where you have groups that are based on different locations of the globe, or for uh, global companies that have most of their developers located in different parts of the world, that can really be a disadvantage for Crystal. And in conclusion, Crystal is an agile framework. It's color coded depending on the size of the team. It's based on the seven key properties. It's really flexible in terms of the role, in terms of the development cycle. It's really up to the team to define how they want to go with that. And you also have, because of this flexibility, you have a limited formality. And here are the references that I used for this presentation. Most of the references were based on the Cockburn book that is Crystal Clear, a human powder methodology for small teams, which is the actual creator of Crystal. Thank you.